What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date and keep you informed with everything that the government does, because the government does a lot of stuff that we don't like, y'all. And oversight. I talk about oversight all the time, but let's kick it back to the forefathers, right? The people that set up this great country how it is. It's beautiful, right? You get a legislative body, right, that's run by the people. You get just regular old Joes coming in, they write up the laws. And then you have an executive branch, a branch put together of the federal government to uphold those laws. Then you get a Supreme Court to work out any bugs in the system. It's a beautiful system, right? You got the federal government is in charge, right? They're in charge of the country. For the most part, right? They're the executive branch. They enforce the laws that Congress makes. But, oh, hang on. Here's the beautiful part. Congress has oversight of the federal government and can boot out anybody that may become corrupted or tyrannical. That's the beauty of this system. Let me know what you think down in the comment section on this one, right? Isn't it a great setup? Sure, it has its flaws. 250 plus years later, yeah, of course, it's going to have its flaws. The federal government has gotten bloated. But, you know, the forefathers kind of foreseen all of this, if you will. That's why they gave Congress oversight powers. That has kept the executive branch in check, because there is a threat of impeachment there that if you step outside your bounds, you will be booted from office and criminally prosecuted if there is a criminal prosecution there. It's a beautiful system, right? But when one part of that system doesn't work, the whole thing just breaks. And that's what I talk about all the time with the Biden administration destroying the country. He's destroying our system. These people time and time again have ignored oversight, have given oversight the middle finger and said, no. We're not going to capitulate to your oversight. We're going to do what the hell we want to do and, screw you, do something, right? That's been the whole hang-up ever since, because Congress doesn't have a police arm that can enforce any sort of criminal recommendations, right? The criminal referrals go to the DOJ. So if the DOJ is like, no, then what are you going to do? That makes you think, well, maybe we should have some sort of law enforcement arm for Congress. Like maybe we should detach the U.S. Marshal's office and put them under the direct supervision of Congress. Maybe that might be a good thing to force the Biden administration or administrations in the future that they have to comply with oversight. And if they don't, they're going to be arrested and thrown in jail. At this current moment that we're in right now, I really wish we had something like that, because check this out, y'all. House Republicans are ready to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt over Biden audio. Now, this was something we've been covering for a while. We know that Robert Hur's investigation into Biden's handling of classified documents. That's where this comes from. He did his investigation. He decided not to prosecute. And for what reason? Because he's a doddering old man with a poor memory, and a jury would be sympathetic to this guy and they wouldn't prosecute him. They wouldn't find him guilty. That's what he thinks. And I've always stated that's not the job of a prosecutor. Sure, prosecutorial discretion. I know. I understand. You don't have to put that down in the comment section. I totally understand that. But the basic job of a prosecutor is to gather all the evidence, look at what you can do, and then bring that to court, right? If you don't have enough evidence, then you don't bring the case. But when you have a case like this, you have clear malfeasance on Joe Biden's part, willful, retained classified documents, then disseminated that information to his ghostwriter to enrich himself, for God's sakes. He was writing a book and he shared classified information with his ghostwriter, right? He had been hoarding classified documents since the 1970s, right? Some of it might not be top secret classified stuff, but he still had classified documents since the 1970s. This dude and they're going after Trump and not going after Biden because he's old. What? That makes absolutely no sense, right? So when Congress says, hey, look, let's investigate this, there's something funny going on. Why did Robert Hur not want to prosecute Joe Biden? That sounds like a piss poor excuse, because it does. It sounds like an obvious piss poor excuse. That sounds like something that the deep state came up with just to brush this off and to give all the corporate press and all the left-wing pundits something to say. Oh, well, it was nothing to look at. He's a doddering old man. As a matter of fact, the corporate press will lie till this day and say that Robert Hur didn't find enough evidence to prosecute Joe Biden on the classified documents. By God, they had the smoking gun. They had the files. They had everything. They had an audio tape of him talking to his ghostwriter, disseminating that information. It just blows your freaking mind that, oh no, we can't go after anybody that's part of the establishment. That's what this is all about. They refused to prosecute Hillary Clinton. I mean, whatever happened to Mike Pence's classified documents, right? Like, has anybody ever investigated any more into that? No, because Mike Pence is part of the establishment machine. And you take any single cog or wheel or bearing out of the machine and the machine breaks down. So we can't have that. We can't have Hillary Clinton going to jail for stealing classified documents and then destroying evidence to try to cover up the fact that she stole classified documents. What did Comey say?
Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case.
But we're on oversight right now. And the Biden administration doesn't care about oversight. That should piss off every single American out there. But do you hear any of these people complaining about the Biden administration's oversight failures, I guess you could say? No, you won't hear anybody in the corporate press concerned that the Biden administration doesn't comply with oversight. They could care less about oversight. The only people you hear it from is House Republicans, Jim Jordan and James Comer. As a matter of fact, right-wing pundits don't hardly even talk about this. It seems like I'm the only person that's pissed off that the Biden administration refuses to comply with oversight, refuses to give up any information that it doesn't want to give up, refuses to abide by federal laws, by God, for, the border down there that's a freaking disaster area. It just pisses me off that nobody is talking about this. Check this out. House Republicans plan to move forward next week with holding Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for his refusal to turn over the unredacted audio of an interview that was conducted as part of the special counsel probe into President Joe Biden's handling of classified documents. The House Judiciary Committee is set to convene on May 16th to advance contempt charges against the cabinet official, according to a person familiar with the matter who was granted anonymity to discuss plans not yet made public. The resolution would then go to the full House for a vote. The contempt proceedings are just the latest flare-up in the increasingly tense relationship between Republicans and the Justice Department. House Republicans last month threatened to hold Garland in contempt for refusing to fully comply with a congressional subpoena issued as part of their probe into Special Counsel Robert Hur's decision not to charge the president with any crimes, which also falls under the impeachment investigation that they're doing into Joe Biden. It doesn't have anything to do with his probe. It all falls under the impeachment investigation. So there you go with the corporate press trying to put you off the trail, trying to say, oh, there's nothing over here. Joe Biden's impeachment is gone. Don't know what impeachment, right? No, it just has to do with this. No, it doesn't. And it has to do with his impeachment. Republicans led by Jim Jordan of Ohio and James Comer of Kentucky had ordered the department to turn over audio of Hur's interview with Biden by early April, but the Justice Department only turned over some of the records, excluding the audio interview with the president. They warned of the precedent that would be set for future investigations if the audio was provided. And I said it on the last video, it is not up to the Justice Department to decide what oversight can look at, right? oversight. It's called oversight. I will say it again. It's oversight. That means they overlook everything. That means anything they want to look into, they can look into because they are the overseers. You are the overseen. So you cannot hide information from Congress because we have a oversight power in this country, right? But like I said earlier in the video, yeah, we don't have anything to enforce that. Maybe we should. Assistant Attorney General Carlos Uriarte, the department's head of congressional affairs, said in the letter to Jordan and Comer last month that the committee's interest in these records may not be in service of legitimate oversight or investigatory functions, but to serve political purposes that should have no role in the treatment of law enforcement files. Doesn't matter. Once again, I will say that once again, that doesn't matter. You don't get to dictate to the overseers what they get to oversee. They oversee everything. Comer dismissed the rationale, saying in response that the Biden administration does not get to determine what Congress needs and does not need for its oversight over the executive branch. Like I was saying, contempt charges would require majority support in the committee and then the support of the full House before a referral would be sent to the Justice Department. Should the House hold Garland in contempt, it is unlikely that the Justice Department, which Garland oversees, would prosecute him. Yeah, it's highly unlikely up until we get a new president. Maybe then, maybe we can get some justice for some of this. The last time an attorney general was held in contempt was 2012. That was when the GOP-controlled House voted to make the then Attorney General Eric Holder the first sitting cabinet member to be held in contempt of Congress for refusing to turn over documents related to the gun-running operation known as Operation Fast and Furious. Let me think back. Who was president in 2012? Yeah, that was Barack Obama. A Democrat administration. This is another reason why I say Democrats are outright insane and don't care about norms, don't care about this country, don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about you. They may get up on national television and say, we're here for the people. We represent our constituents. They don't. They could care less. They represent the lobby interests, the interests they represent is whoever lines their freaking pockets. That's the only people they care about, and that should piss off every single American. Like I said earlier, I don't know why more people aren't pissed off that the Biden administration, that Democratic administrations don't care about oversight, will absolutely refuse to comply. It pisses me off. Gets me all animated and shit. Sorry. The Justice Department took no action against Holder. The special counsel in Biden's case, Hur, spent a year investigating the president's improper retention of classified documents from his time as senator and as vice president. That result was a 345-page report that questioned Biden's age and mental competence, but recommended no criminal charges for the 81-year-old. Hur said he found insufficient evidence to successfully prosecute a case in court. The corporate press lying to you once again. That's not the reason. It's like they think we can't remember what the damn committee hearing said. He said he's an old man with poor memory. As a matter of fact, they wrote headlines for days talking about that, and now they want you to think, it's because Robert Hur didn't find enough evidence to prosecute. That's outright BS. They had the smoking gun. Everything was laid out. I mean, it was a prosecutor's dream. You got the smoking gun, you got witness testimony, you got audio tapes, you got handwritten notes, all kinds of, you got the evidence. It's like if it was a murder case, you got a dead victim in somebody's backyard, you got a gun laying next to the victim with the fingerprints of the people that live in the house. As a matter of fact, the people that live in the house called the cops, said he killed somebody, and then you come over and you investigate, you do all this other stuff, and then you decide we don't have enough evidence to prosecute. Huh? Yeah, that's what the corporate press is trying to make you believe. That exact scenario I just laid out. That's pretty much to a T what we have going on here, except nobody died, obviously. But that's what we got going on, and that's what they're trying to make you believe. They're lying to you once again. It pisses me off, and they don't want to comply. You know, God, I just get, my mind gets jumbled sometimes, right? Like, just because it's so aggravating. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you're aggravated about this. But his defense did not satisfy Republicans who insist that there is a politically motivated double standard at the Justice Department, which is prosecuting former President Donald Trump over his handling of classified documents after he left the White House. Yeah, we just went over that in the last video, by the way. But there are major differences between the two probes. You're damn right there are major differences. One of them looks like Biden obviously stole documents, took them to his house, then disseminated that information with his ghostwriter to enrich himself by writing a book, an autobiography, by the way, so he could sell copies. I think it was $8 million or something like that was the book. An $8 million deal to write a book that he disseminated classified document information to somebody. And then you got Trump, who now it clearly looks like a setup. So yeah, there are vast differences between the two cases, but one's getting prosecuted and the other one's not. Yeah, there's no double standard going on here. Biden's team returned the documents after they were discovered, and the president cooperated with the investigation by voluntarily sitting for an interview and consenting to searches of his home. Trump, by contrast, is accused of enlisting the help of aides and lawyers to conceal the documents from the government and allegedly sought to have potentially incriminating evidence destroyed. Lies, lies, lies. The government, the GSA, sent 2 pallets of the same documents to Mar-a-Lago, right? The government gave Trump the documents. So what do you mean he tried to conceal evidence that he had these documents? They knew he had the documents. And that whole thing about destroying video evidence, we found out that was bunk as well. So the corporate press is trying to feed you some lies, trying to feed you some BS that we know now to be false, but yet they're still writing it up. They're still not coming correct, if you will, and telling the truth because they can't, because that's going to destroy their narrative. And the mainstream narrative machine cannot have its narrative destroyed, even though it makes them look like complete and outright liars. They look dumb as hell right now, to be frank. It blows my freaking mind, y'all, that these people will uphold their lies. For some reason, I can't seem to figure out why they continually lie and lie and lie. And when it comes to find out they lied, they don't retract their lies. They just continue to lie. They just ignore it and then keep moving on. Let's go to the next lie. It just blows my freaking mind, y'all. But I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Does this piss you off that the Biden administration just refuses to comply with oversight? It just, I mean, it shouldn't surprise anybody, to be honest with you. But, you know, it's very, very underhanded, if you will, and it pisses me off. It's not surprising, but it pisses me off. But I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. And that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. And y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.